these servicemen were out on maneuvers for 6 months. They hadn't seen anybody but woods and trees, and they finally landed on a Polynesian island. And the chief spoke English, and the general went up to him and said, "Chief, my boys haven't seen a woman for 6 months, and I think you ought to tell your girls to be careful." And the chief says, "Don't worry about it, General. My girls have it up here." And the general says, "I don't care where they have it. My boys will find it." This couple was having trouble, so they went to a marriage counselor. And the husband was starting to talk, and the wife jumped up and she starts saying, "He doesn't love me, he doesn't open the door, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that." And she doesn't never stops talking. So the therapist walked over to her, grabbed her, and gave her a long, passionate kiss. And when he was finished, he just sat down and didn't say a word. The therapist said to the husband, "See, that's all she needs, 3 times a week." The husband said, "Okay, I'll drop her off on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I bowl on Friday." These two men met on the road. They were old friends with Bob and Sam. And Bob says, "How you doing, Sam?" And Sam says, "Not too good. I started to stutter lately." So Bob says, "You know, I used to stutter, and I went to a doctor, and the doctor told me to have sex with my wife 3 times a week for 2 weeks, and it seemed to work." So I said, "Well, that sounds pretty good." So about 3 weeks later, they meet again, and Bob says, "How you doing, Sam?" He says, "I'm doing great. I took your advice." He said, "I don't stutter anymore." He said, "That's great." He said, "By the way, you have a nice house, too." This woman came home from the shopping, and she said to her husband, "I know you might be a little angry, but I think it was worth it. I spent $300 on a negligee, so sheer you wouldn't think that I had it on." So he said, "Well, go upstairs and try it on." So she goes up, trying to stand at the top. She says, "Hon, I have it on." And he looks up, he says, "For God's sakes, for $300, I could at least pressed it." This elderly woman was walking down the street when someone ran up to her, tried to rob her. She says, "I don't have any money." So this guy says, "Well, let me see, I'll frisk you." He patted her down, and she says, "I told you I have no money." He said, "Well, I didn't do that too good, let me do it better." And she says, "I told you I don't have any money." He says, "But I'll tell you one thing, if you do it once more, I'll write you a check." Okay. This fella had a pet chicken, and wherever he went, he took his chicken. So he tried to go into the movie. He hadn't seen the Titanic, and he wanted to see it. So the woman said, "You can't come in here with that chicken." So he left. He's going around the corner, and he said, "I'm going to go in there." So he took the chicken and stuffed it down his pants. And he went, he bought the chicken, and he's sitting down, he's watching the movie, and he figures, "Oh, the chicken might suffocate." So he opened the slide to give it a little air. He was sitting next to this woman. She looks at her friend and says, "Mabel, what? You got to see this." She says, "What do you mean?" She's got this fly over. She said, "Oh, you can see them when you see them all." He said, "Not like this one. This one's eating my popcorn." Thank you. We'll go back to singing.